Good afternoon, everybody. Sadly, I've already finished my coffee, so unhappy, don't have coffee. But that's okay. It is currently almost 2 p.m. I've been awake since 6. My love bug had to work early this morning, and I just thought I'd go ahead and get up and start doing things. So right now I'm outside walking Pico, and I saw wild strawberry flowers, so I had to show you guys. I definitely don't remember exactly where they were. Over here somewhere. Pico, come on, don't tangle me up. Okay, so we're getting close. So here's some strawberry leaves. These are all wild, by the way, just in my yard. I did not plant any of these. Strawberries, 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 strawberries. And I think, I can see them from here. They're down there. And down here, where I'm sure they get a little more light, here are some with flowers on them. And they say that if your wild strawberries have white flowers, that they're safe to eat, and that you shouldn't eat them if they're yellow flowers. So these have white flowers. I'm so excited. Hey, don't step on those. Don't step on those. Get out of there. And there's some more right here coming up. Some more right here coming up. So there's a good chance that you and I are gonna have to go on a strawberry hunt and dig up the ones out of my yard that have white flowers, because I found even more that I didn't even see. There's a plant here, here, right there. There's a bunch. That's so exciting. Yeah, so they say to only eat wild strawberries if they have the white flowers. I don't exactly know what is in the ones with the yellow flowers that makes them not safe to eat, or maybe it's only in a certain quantity. I'm not sure. I've just heard that you shouldn't eat the ones with yellow flowers, so it makes me so excited that those have white flowers. Last year when we moved into this house, all of the wild strawberries have already flowered, so I didn't get to see what color flowers they had. So I'm so excited that they're white. That's basically free strawberry plants for me. While I'm out here, I thought I'd show you the newest difference at the house. So this driveway is where I was just walking and filming towards this way, towards my garden. And that is actually the new driveway that we just had cut in from the dirt road. This is the old one. I'm sure so many people are like, that driveway is almost in exactly the same spot as the other one, and you would be correct. But we wanted to move it because this one has a really steep slope heading into the dirt road, and basically just past, starting just on this side of this large tree is where our property starts. So technically, the very end of our driveway is not even on our property, and we're not fans of that. We want to keep it as kosher as possible. We want to fence off our property and everything, so this is leaving. But the good thing about it, so basically from that tree to right here at an angle, it's hard to tell because our property is basically a parallelogram from the road. So from this tree up to this little piece of trash and then to this pole is where our property stops. And the exciting part, I hope you can hear me, I'm sorry, it's very windy today. But the exciting part, the part that you all will care about the most, just like me, is, oh gosh, I almost fell. I don't know if you noticed, my green stalk used to be over here, but I had to move it so that it's not in the way of people working on the driveway. It's now separated on the ground down there because some of the strawberries weren't getting very much sun, some of them needed more water, so I just left it unstacked. But basically, I'm going to stand right where my green stalk used to be, which is right here. And to that telephone pole, all the way to that large tree, all the way to the corner of the driveway where it meets the road, and to where I'm standing, all of this behind me, well, not the new driveway, basically where the edge of the camera is right here, all the way over here, that is all gonna be my garden. That is all gonna be my garden. That's crazy. So the only structures that I'm gonna have to work around are this telephone pole right here. The blue truck is gonna be gone, but this telephone pole has a wire leading down to the ground there and a wire leading down to the ground there, and I'm gonna have to keep everything about 10 feet away from that in all aspects. So I was thinking I'm just going to put a trellis line on either side of it, and that will be enough space in between them that the trellises won't shade each other. The pole isn't enough of shade that it's really going to matter for anything. And then it'll be hidden as much as possible. Not that it really matters, it's a tiny bit of an eyesore, but it's really not a big deal. But for me, the size of that garden is a big deal. I think that's at least 3,000 square feet, not gonna lie to you. I think 6 of my house would fit in the space where my garden is going to be, and that's so exciting. I'm so excited. So I already have somewhat of a layout picked out for this year, but not for all of the years. We still have to buy a couple loads of gravel and get it put on the new driveway before we can start rolling our cars down it. Also, there's some small stumps that we need to get out of there and big rocks. So it's gonna be maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks before we can start actually driving on this. And at that time, this new driveway is going to become the beginning of my raised bed garden. So all my containers are probably going to stay in this grassy area, and I'm going to slowly start buying raised beds and put them in this strip at first, because this will be the back of the garden, if that makes sense. The sun comes from this way. That is directly south. So the sun comes and shines like this, starts back here and goes over the garden this way. So I'll probably have tall things along the very edge of my property here, and it's a slope downward, so even if I plant tall things all the way on the edge over there, it won't shade my garden too much, which is basically perfect. This is a great space for my garden, and ironically, I'm pretty sure the neighbors are building their garden just there. So these trees that are still there are half ours and half the neighbors. But there used to be trees all right here that within the last 2 months the neighbors have gotten rid of, and apparently they're putting their garden there. So it's going to be my huge garden, and then the neighbor's probably normal sized garden right next to it. So exciting. I'm fairly certain that the camera is not showing how big of a space it honestly is. I could try to lift it, but I don't think it's gonna. So all the way down this driveway line to that big tree, and to this telephone pole, this is all gonna be garden space. Oh, that's a lot of space to work with, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Well, anyways, good afternoon, guys. I'm so excited to see you back here. If this is the first time we've met, my name is Alex. I live in Missouri, and I do container gardening. Missouri, where I live, the very, very southern portion, is zone 6B, 7A. It kind of airs on the side of 6B in the winter and 7A in the summer. So we get really hot summers and fairly cold winters, which makes it a little bit difficult to be gardening. It is spring right now, the 2nd day of April, actually, and that means things in the garden are moving along very quickly. In fact, quicker than I probably can move. It looks cold out here, but it is actually 74 degrees, but we're supposed to get storms. Every hour I've been looking at the weather, and every hour they push the storm back and say it's going to be here later and later. So I don't know what time it's supposed to be here. It was supposed to be raining at 8 a.m., then it was supposed to be raining at 10, then 11, then 1 p.m. was supposed to get heavy rain. It's now 2 p.m. and still hasn't rained even a little bit. So today is my last normal day off before I go back to my regularly scheduled work time. I've just been trying to get as much done as possible. I only have 4 peppers left to up pot, and I saved those ones so that you guys could come along with me so I could show you their roots, how I up pot them, what I'm up potting them into, what soil I use, and all that jazz. So let me finish walking Pico. We'll go inside and up pot some peppers. Okay, we are now in the garden room, ready to repot some peppers. These bags, they are bags actually, they are non-woven fabric nursery pots. Non-woven meaning they're pressed together instead of being intertwined with each other so that they can break down easier. These are biodegradable pots. I got them on Amazon. I think I paid $25 for 200 of them maybe. I'm not sure what price they are now. It's been over a year since I bought them, but I will link them down in the description. And yes, they do actually break apart. I have some outside that have been sitting there since last season, and I can barely pinch the edge like this without it just tearing off in my fingers. So These are actually this tall. They are fairly big, and these little peppers obviously don't need something quite that big. So what I have been doing is folding down the edges. To do that, I've just been pushing my hand to the inside. Usually I have two hands to do this, so it's a little easier. And there we go. And they do have corners, so you kind of know where they need to be folding in. And then from there, I unpot the peppers. So this is a Sugar Rush peach pepper. All of these are actually Sugar Rush peach peppers. They're the last ones that I need to uppot. These ones actually got kind of leggy. So what I'm gonna do is bury the peppers up to basically this first set of leaves. Realistically, right here is where like it would normally have come out, but tomatoes and peppers can sprout roots along their entire stem. So I'm going to bury it just a little bit deeper, mostly for support, but also for added root availability. So all of these are Sugar Rush peach, like I said, so I feel comfortable taking this out and just putting it in the pile over here. And then to unpot it, these are 2x2 inch Bootstrap Farmer nursery pots, by the way. I will also link those down in the description. I love them. The only thing I would say is if you like using plastic pots like this and you like growing peppers, tomatoes, things that grow pretty quickly, they're going to outgrow these little pots pretty quickly. I think if I was to purchase again, I would buy their 3x3 inch pots and use those instead of the 2x2 inch pots. That's just a personal preference. Totally up to you. They have both. Bootstrap Farmer is really great. These are extra strength. I've had them for 3 years. None of them have broken at all. And I'm not saying I treat them gently. So I just squeeze the edges like this, flip it upside down in my hand to try and hold as much soil as possible. I like cover the top. Then I smack the bottom, give it a few squeezes on the corners, squeezes on the edges. Smack. Oh, I just felt it release. But if it doesn't release from that, I usually like shuck it down. Be careful not to hit the top of the plant on anything, and then you can just remove it like this. So I'm not sure if the color will come along correctly because my lights over this way are pink, but these roots, I'll try. Oh, that's better. These roots are all white. I know the soil looks really wet right now. That's because I just watered them last night, but these roots are really white. They are not too root bound. They look very, very healthy. So I'm very happy about that. They don't smell bad. If you overwater and your roots stay waterlogged, then they will start to rot, and you will know because it will smell bad, like any rotting thing does. So now I just take this, flop it upside down, and yes, it's most likely, if your seedling is this big, it is strong enough to hold it by the stem. Just base it off of your seedling, or if your soil's too heavy, then that makes sense. But for me, these plants are strong enough and old enough that holding them by the stem is just fine. And I plop it on top of there. I already have 3 handfuls of soil at the bottom of each of these pots. So then what I do is I take both hands and kind of shimmy the root structure of the plant down into the soil, because like I said, I want to bury them a little deeper. So I make the top of the plant the bottom of the plant where I want the soil to go equal to the top of the pot. And then I just do that with all of them. I have been doing this individually, not like set up 4 and do 4, which maybe I shouldn't have been. Maybe this is more efficient. I don't really know, but I'm getting it done nonetheless. Just scoop them down in there. And then down here, I have my soil in this tote, and this soil is Ocean Forest by Happy Frog. This is Ocean Forest by Fox Farm. I usually use Happy Frog, but I had bought this because it's just a little bit finer of a mix. It's not as chunky as the Happy Frog. And for seedlings, that's a little better. So that's why I have this, but usually I do prefer Happy Frog. So then I just hold the plant back one way and put a few handfuls of soil in there. And then I'm not trying to be clean about it because this is just the lid and I can dump the soil back into the container when I'm done. So then I hold up the fabric pot by the corner and I use my finger to kind of compress the soil that is in the corner of the bag, and that just helps it stay upright without any help. So when someone buys this, they can just set this one plant upright by itself and not have to rely on other things for it to lean on. So I just compress the soil into the corners a little bit. It doesn't take much. Turn this. And then add a little bit more soil. And give it a good press so that the roots of the pepper have good contact with the new soil and can start telling the plant, hey, we have more space. We can make more roots. So then I just press some into the top. And now this pepper is buried up to just below those seed leaves, like I said. And we'll do it to the other 4. Oh, and don't forget to put your tag back in. So I just repotted all of these, and last night I repotted all of these in the fabric containers, and that is officially all of my peppers repotted. Technically, I still have these tiny guys, but those are not ready for up. Pico, don't drink that. Stop it. But those are not ready for uppotting, and I will just keep them, not even take them to the festival, and I'll plant these ones in my own garden, so they'll be fine. They're just going to stay in here for a while. This is the only large fabric pot that I have left. One single pot left. And all these tomatoes. Looks like I'm going to have to scavenge some plastic. I was wrong. There are 2 more of these fabric pots. So I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 tomatoes. For the tomatoes, I'm not going to fold down the sides any because they're obviously very, very tall. Yes. So, like I said, these are biodegradable pots. These are the smaller ones. You can see the roots coming through the pot. So, they obviously don't harm or block the roots. So I'm just gonna take the tag out, set the bag in there on top of the soil that I've already put on the bottom. Maybe dig it down just a little bit. And then backfill with new soil. Then put the tag back. There's 1 up-potted tomato. Gonna do the same with the other one, except this one has some lower leaves, so I'm gonna remove those. Plop it in there. Work it down a little. Fill it. You see now why I folded the bags down on the other plants, because this is taking a lot more soil than the peppers did. I've also today already up-potted all of these wandering Jews. They don't look like much, but there's 2 cuttings in each pot, so more leaves will come from the top, and these will get longer. So, and I don't assume people will keep them in these containers very long, so decent for now. It has started to get darker outside, and I've heard thunder several times, so I'm thinking the rain might actually come soon, but that was some thunder. I don't know if you heard that, but I'm sure the rain will actually come soon. But I wasn't joking about having to scrounge for plastic containers because I ran out of those fabric pots, and I need to up-pot lots of tomatoes. So I just found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I just found 12. These skinny, tall containers that I don't use very often. I will have to drill holes in the bottom of them, but that's okay. I would like to up-pot as many tomatoes as possible. I don't even know if I have enough soil to fill this, all of these, but I'm just gonna bring in as many containers as I can in hopes to up-pot tomatoes. But also keeping in mind that I'm using store-bought potting soil, so I'm trying not to overuse it and just up-pot what needs to be up-potted, but I do have quite a few tall tomatoes. I think 12 will be pretty good. Earlier I was showing you that down there, right next to my little bird bath thing, is where my green stock and stuff was. And this is where it all is now. Not very organized, but that's all right. We're getting there. It is more organized than it was. Here's the green stock. The strawberries seem to be doing pretty good. They're fairly happy down here on the ground. Some of them getting more sun. This one's got new growth. This one, no new growth on this one, but oh, I see baby leaf coming in there. That one, that's for sure a new leaf right there. Some of them weren't getting quite enough sun because I don't have a base for my green stock, so it's really hard to spin it when they're all stacked up. So that's why I decided to just leave it unstacked, and because I need to refresh some of this soil, maybe pull out and replant some of the strawberries so they're not scattered out. I lost quite a few strawberries over the winter. It was very cold, but that's all right. So I will refresh those. You know what I could do? I could replant these strawberries all into one or two of these and use this soil to up-pot tomatoes. You guys are geniuses. Thank you. I'm going to start with this stack and we'll see where that gets me. These are the old fabric pots that I was telling you guys about, and these haven't even been buried all season. They've just been sitting in the sun, and they just pull right apart. I'm actually not throwing these away because I want to bring them to the festival, because people are bound to ask me, are they actually biodegradable? In which case I'll be like, I don't know, can you rip this apart? I have some of these bags still in my garden, and they, like in these containers, and they do the same thing. They just fall right apart. I tried to pull one out the other day and it just broke apart into pieces. Yesterday, my mom brought over a bunch of bags of bulbs that she had bought from Walmart, and she got all these containers for 25 cents each at a thrift store near where we live. So we planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I think mostly lilies. And then these are the tulips, the akebono tulips that I bought from Baker Creek in October, and they just started sprouting in the house, so I brought them outside. These are some canna lilies that I got from my sister. Don't know what that is, but I'll leave it. These are canna lilies that died over winter. And here is my chocolate mint coming back that I did not think would come back. And then the other day I topped it with some slightly used potting soil, and it's been rained on since then, and there are so many little babies. Oh gosh, I almost fell. All right, let's grab these pots and see how far they get me. Excuse you, Koshka. I was outside for not even 10 minutes. And you're just gonna lay on this dirty thing that I'm actively using? That's not very nice, bud. Baby, I gotta plant some tomatoes. You just almost ruined things, bud. I got 14 tomatoes planted, and it is now dark enough that my dusk to dawn porch light just came on. There are tiny, tiny little water droplets sprinkling on me as we speak. So here comes the rain. Oh gosh, my face is dirty, isn't it? Alright, I guess that's where the rain's coming from. It's getting pretty dark. The rain definitely found me. Hello everybody, and welcome to my currently filthy kitchen. I am getting ready for the festival. I have to leave my house at 3 a.m., which is technically tomorrow morning, but I'm not gonna go to sleep, so that's tonight for me. I'm actually just chiming in to end the previous video that I started doing all the plant things for the festival. So I just wanted to say, hey, hi, what's up? Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see the rest of these shenanigans, tune into the next one. I will see you guys all in the next video.